Hello and welcome everybody. A very good afternoon, and we are really delighted for everybody who's attending our webinar on different branches of law, emerging career options. We are really delighted to have three esteemed panelists for this webinar. I would like to introduce our moderator for the evening, Dr. Debashree Mukherjee. She is the head of Department of Law, Sister Nivedita University. She comes with over 18 years of experience in teaching at both undergraduate and postgraduate level, and 6 years of experience in practicing at the Honorable High Court at Kolkata and the West Bengal State Administrative Tribunal. She has published over 20 articles in edited volumes and various law journals and edited books on various aspects of law. We are really honored to have you, ma'am, and I would really request you to take the discussion forward.
Thank you very much for such a nice introduction, and a very good afternoon to both my esteemed guests and to all the participants for today's webinar. We have this webinar where we will be able to understand from the experts in the domain of law on various emerging career options that a student of law can choose from after doing his UG or his PG in the domain of law. Before I begin today's session, I take this opportunity to introduce both the panelists of the day, Professor Dr. Nirmal Kanti Chakrabarti and Madam Sucharita Basu. Professor Dr. Nirmal Kanti Chakrabarti is currently the Vice-Chancellor of West Bengal University of Juridical Sciences. He has joined the West Bengal Education Service way back in 1985 and then have honored various important positions in different leading educational institutions across the country. As a prolific writer, Dr. Chakrabarti has authored and edited 9 books and published more than 100 research articles in different edited volumes, national and international journals. He is an acclaimed researcher in the domain of criminology and criminal justice of India, and was the former president of the Indian Society of Victimology and an awardee of Professor K. Chocklingam Award for his contribution in the field of victimology in 2016. We welcome Professor Nirmal Kanti Chakrabarti once again, and we are very happy to have you in this session. Madam Sucharita Basu is a partner at Aquilaw. She is a lawyer practicing laws relating to corporate, trust, real estate, infrastructure, government, and policy. She co-founded Aquilaw, a full-service law firm, in October 2015, after about 2 decades of working in another law firm. She is also on the corporate board of few listed companies in the country and also engaged with a global consulting firm. Madam is the chairperson of CII Indian Women Network West Bengal for 2021, where she drives a robust agenda on the sustenance of working women in the workforce, gender equity, gender equality, health, safety, and social issues with respect to working women. Thank you, ma'am, and for joining this discussion.
Thank you.
Before I ask any questions to my panelists, I would take this opportunity also to welcome all the participants who are very keenly waiting today to understand from the experts what are the emerging career options after globalization has hit. There has been a sea change in the career opportunities that are available in the domain of law. So I begin today's discussion by requesting Professor Chakrabarti to share his views on the emerging career options that are currently available in the domain of law.
Thank you, Debashree. My thanks to all the participants and my co-panelists. To say about careers of law graduates, I had my experience 35 years. With that experience, I had the opportunity to see the rapid growth of opportunities, particularly in the 21st century. After globalization, the opportunities for law graduates increased manifold. To begin with, I will start with the career in the justice system. The very first traditional career is the litigation lawyer, either in the civil court or in the criminal court. Also, those traditional law schools, law colleges or universities, after passing, some are joining in the court as practitioners, lawyers, litigators, others trying to join in the judicial service. In the judicial service, now there are two opportunities: either immediately after passing the LLB course or the LLB course, they can appear in the public service conducted the judicial service examination, or they can join practice, and after 7 years of practice they can appear in higher judicial service directly. There is another opportunity for the lawyers to be in the court system or justice system. That is, they can appear in assistant public prosecutors examination conducted by Public Service Commission, APP, and they can join as prosecutors in the various courts throughout the state, and particularly these are in the criminal courts. But those who are not joining directly in the court, either through their internship or those willing to have counseling as their choice, they can join law firm. In the law firm, normally the law firms nowadays prefer those students who are doing internship there. They judge the students, they can evaluate, and there is a system of pre-placement internship, PPI. Through that, if they satisfy the firm, they can be absorbed as their employees and they can work in the law firms. There is other, particularly in the law schools, law universities, and few law schools in the private sector also. There are corporates who visit and come to the particular types of law schools where corporate law teaching is very good and standard. They can hire directly after they will in our law university in 4th year, they select the students. After 5th year passing, they join, and sometimes in some other places they recruit in the final year. So they directly join in the corporate house and they join in their law team in the council office, and they are learning corporate compliance, corporate litigations, how various corporate sectors solving their clients' problems. And there are also some cases, they also appear in the consumer court under the production unit if that corporate having the production. We have now today also financial institution, banks. I have the experience in NUJS also in my previous university where the banking institutions also, not the nationalized bank, but private sector banks, they are coming and they are recruiting the law graduates in the final year. And they are definitely those law schools they select where banking law is a compulsory papers. So career of the law graduate sometimes depends upon the law school, how their curriculum being set. For example, in universities where insurance is a compulsory paper, the insurance companies come and select those law schools or law universities where students know very much what are the insurance law, the principles and its applications. Similarly, we have also that some financial institutions who are not only bank but they are giving credits, they also, because of their agreements, many agreements, they require in-house lawyer. So they also recruit the law graduates with their law office, big financial institutions. After globalization, another new opportunities also, and many law students, both in the good law schools and also ordinary law colleges also, there are some LPOs, legal process outsourcing, which are operating in our country post globalization. They are taking the job from USA, UK or other advanced countries, and what's being done here and it is being sent to them. This legal process outsourcing, there are many LPO offices, mostly in Hyderabad and Pune and Mumbai also. This LPO also another area where students are now joining. I will also share my experience from my college even 30 years back. Some students, they prefer civil service. Even from my University college, the people join civil services. In NUJS, just 1 month before, we have a weekly alumni meeting where I have met 4 civil servant, 2 foreign service graduates, 1 IPS and another direct IS. All are girls students. So it is now also even in our this year, the topper, our first boy, he's thinking of joining civil service, not of any other job. So it is another area where law graduates, they are thinking and they are successful also to join the civil services, either central IS or some state civil services also. We have also opportunities for the law graduates to appear in the Union Public Service Commission conducted the Indian Legal Services, where the after recruitment they will work along with the parliament, the legislative wing of the Ministry of Law and Justice. So they will frame or draft the law. Gradually they will be draftsmen, legal draftsmen for the legislations. So for that, Government of India created Indian Legal Service. That may be another opportunity you can think of. Some of also law graduates now joining even army also. Number is less, but in army also law officers being recruited now. There are other central government services where law graduates are now being recruited, particularly labor department, labor commissioner with 2-3 years experience through UPSC examination selection. The labor commissioner also from law graduates being recruited by the Union Public Service Commission. Similarly, we can now, in an emerging area, we are now teaching our students information technology, IPR, various aspects of IPR, technology transfer. We are also in our university, and I think few National Law University having optional paper, artificial intelligence and technology law. We have also the financial instruments, blockchain, and also other financial development, blockchain and other things. These are new areas where some law firms are now developing their practice and they are coming to law schools to teach the students extra. We have a system of where emerging subjects being taught, and after passing, they get the opportunity to work there. It's a new technological area also. And also some of the law firms, which are IPR law firm, they are also taking the students, particularly they prefer having IPR honors students or IPR some knowledge, at least 3-4 papers if being taught during the law, particularly the IPR drafting, patent drafting, or if they being taught the patent searching, so they may be absorbed in the IPR law firms. But if we look into different other specialized area of the legal subjects, that means if we think into labor laws, land laws, taxation laws, administrative law, we have now, because there are tribunal, besides court system, tribunal systems also developing. And there are students who are joining after passing, not only the court, they are joining administrative tribunal, they may join a labor court also. Taxation is another very lucrative area, and many students, they prefer to join taxation practice. And in the graduation level, when they are learning basic subjects, fundamental subjects, if the law school having the plan in the curriculum to develop taxation related laws, at least 2-3 papers, direct, indirect taxes, and also international, these 3 papers, if being taught, the students definitely can join and they can have the bright career in taxation practice also. Nowadays we have also industrial tribunal, we have also company law tribunal, so where the students are, particularly I can refer one example to my young lawyers, that particularly they are after corporate law basic fundamentals, they can know the valuation of insolvency. The minimum fee prescribed in the regulation is 50 lakhs for one valuation also. So if you have a plan to have corporate practice, so there are opportunities where you can grow like anything. So opportunities are there, and particularly before I end, I will refer to, now we are very much acquainted with online in practice in the court, online education as well as online practice. Some of our students, they are opening the online legal aid and online services, online advices also. And also only one firm for the time being in India developed the online mediation also, that which I think will come very soon, as one of the, I have heard and read, you may read in the newspaper, our Chief Justice N.V. Ramana also referred that it may be that by law in India, mediation would be compulsory prior to litigation. So mediation now started limited way, it may be in the coming days will absorb many law graduates in this way. So there are lot of opportunities. Now it is your choice, but choice should be from at least past second year. You have to do your, set your mind what you are to do. Accordingly, you have to prepare and you have to go ahead towards your goal. Now to others, my colleagues.
Thank you, Professor Chakrabarti. It was indeed very nice to hear from you about the various career options that you have pointed out. And I'm sure the young minds who are there at the webinar today have actually, understood that there are immense career opportunities available to them. Moving on to Madam Basu. With your long career history in different law firms and practicing in different courts across the country, and now being a partner at one of the leading firms, Aquilaw, my question to you, madam, is what do you think is the scope of working in a law firm? What are the various areas in which a student gets to enhance his knowledge and experience career-wise also, if he or she chooses to join a law firm? I think, ma'am, you need to unmute yourself. Yes.
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Yes. So good afternoon, and of course, thanks to ABP Education for inviting me to participate in this very relevant session. Now, the relevance of this session, such as this, actually, they have been optimized due to the global pandemic, which has actually reset our lives and careers to a great extent. So we have been really nudged to ponder on alternatives and think innovatively and sort of hit refresh. So, so we cannot any longer perceive any current situation or future situation using a formula approach. Similarly, we cannot look at our legal career also in that said manner. So we have learned and realized over the last 2 years the role of disruption and in innovation. And it is really remarkable to notice how some legal practice areas have flourished while others have taken a backseat. Now, so my favorite debate is, but before we jump into the law firm straight away, is to whether to get into a big law firm right after law school as a fresher, where nowadays in the law firms, they are usually being rotated through the practice areas for a few months till the fresher finds her calling in one of these, and or the leadership, sort of brackets her into one of them, in one of the practice areas. So, and then begins the journey once she's bracketed or put under a certain practice area team, the journey of creation of an expert, as we call it, in a certain practice area, such as capital markets or M&A or banking and finance or real estate. Now, however, sort of corollary to this is to describe it as an initiation and growth of the lawyer into a restricted field of law. Now, I completely understand the need to sort of urgently get placed in a law firm, and the reasons for the same could range from personal choice to risk appetite to financial considerations. But if there exists the flexibility of being able to make a choice, in my view, a young, fresh, intelligent mind could also explore the option of going into litigation practice under the tutelage of a competent counsel. This also, Dr. Chakrabarti has, in fact, started his, speech with this idea. And here also the choice of practice can either be, it can be a mix of civil, criminal, or more focused, civil, commercial, or more focused criminal or tax practices. So these are areas which actually are very, very intensive. And let me tell you, the country needs really good expert lawyers in these. So even in litigation practice, it has evolved from doing run-of-the-mill litigation to more strategy litigation to more focused litigation. So it is indeed strenuous and perhaps less glamorous in the beginning, but the long-term impact of it is massive. But having said that, today law firms also are gradually now becoming self-sufficient. And for instance, for us, we do most of the matters in-house. And it is also not that one cannot switch from law firm to the bar or vice versa. So all that I'm stressing upon is to always keep an open mind, because I know the audience has many students today, to keep an open mind and not have a formula approach. So now, even in a law firm, after this rotation or so now let me come to the law firm bit. After this rotation or general practice months, it is to figure out which practice areas are better to opt for. So there are traditional practice areas like dispute resolution, corporate, banking, etc., or the new age ones which are brought about by the newer legislations and legal developments such as insolvency, data privacy, a lot of hybrid new areas, structured real estate, structured banking finance. So in this, my view is again a little conservative, wherein I would recommend a young lawyer to first gather expertise in the traditional practices, as in spend few good years learning, and then consider going into more finer sectoral practices or specific legal practice areas. So it should actually be done collaboratively. And but I would suggest that the foundation should be very strong on the general practice areas. For example, a lawyer who is perhaps lacking in her experience and learning in contract law and general principles and application of the contract law and drafting nuances, etc. How much ever she reads up on the EU GDPR and data protection law, she can never be able to draft or vet a data protection agreement between the relevant stakeholders. It can be a very template-oriented draft, but nothing original, nothing innovative will be addressed through it. So I always also insist that law obviously cannot exist in isolation. It has to be applied to certain situations. So deep understanding of commercial aspects and practical situations to which the law is to be applied to, that absolutely is necessary. And this comes only with spending time doing a little bit of general practice before, getting into very siloed practice areas. Though globally, it is a prevalent system to be sectoral experts and practice area experts, but the first few years, one should be spending learning the ropes. So obviously, Dr. Chakrabarti has highlighted on the emerging careers of law, and I completely agree that all of these exists. Today the scope for a young lawyer, it is completely free of boundaries. It is contourless. Even sky is not the limit. So every year, or rather every 6 months, new laws are being promulgated, and each of them can emerge into new practice areas. And as Dr. Chakrabarti has said, even academics, being in-house counsel, civil services, they are definitely extraordinary career options, apart from getting into a law firm. But I reiterate that I often use this metaphor of a sort of a construction site, wherein the stronger the foundation, the more profound and timeless the edifice on it. So these initial years, they are priceless. And my recommendation is to make judicious use of these so that one can become solid, powerful professionals. So, and then, like sky is the limit. You want to do data privacy, you want to do blockchain, you don't want to do whatever you want to do, but the general laws, the general concepts should be absolutely stellar. And only then you can build up on it. And then you can lead that practice. You can make your own team. So, for instance, my law firm, Aquilaw, it's a young entrepreneur law firm in comparison to several existing ones. And I insist my young colleagues to be original, to reject the default, to take radical risks, and they should be relentless. They should never fear failure. Just because somebody else is doing, 5 other of their colleagues are doing something in general, they need not be pressurized by it. So, I'll keep it short, and my best wishes to all of you aspiring lawyers to pursue originality and always remember that non-conformists are the one who changes the world. So once in a law firm, you get into the law firm culture. Obviously, I have spent so many years. I've spent 2 decades in another law firm and now about 6 years over here. But where I sort of, try to strike a difference is that find your way. Don't just, hear me out that, okay, fine, I will do general corporate. This is what I'm supposed to do. But it'll really, you'll be killing the kind of talent you may have in any other sphere that you could have taken up you could have elevated yourself to. So that's it from me. And if you want to ask me any questions, I'm
yes. Madam Basu, thank you for actually letting these young minds understand that you start off with an open mind, try to find out the different areas where you suit best before you take a final call that this is my area in which I want to experience. From this point of view itself, I would like my second question towards you again. Like, what is that today BCI, has made it compulsory that students have to undergo internships, and not only because of BCI regulations, we have understood today that internships are a very good way of, understanding how the application of the theoretical part of the law that they study in a law school can be well taken care of. So what is the scope of internships that is available in respect of students joining a single senior counsel or maybe joining a law firm? Is there any difference if they try to do an internship with a practitioner who is sole leading professional, or maybe he needs to specifically join a law firm, and that would be a much more gainful experience for him? And what are those key steps that the student should basically take so that he can secure good internships for himself or herself?
So you want me to answer this question, or Dr. Chakrabarti?
I was first putting the question to you, and then maybe I will shift to sir to hear his viewpoint.
So obviously, I think universities like NUJS, and they have a certain protocol they have to follow, where the first year they have to do with an NGO, then gradually they have that system, which is great actually, I would say. And internships is definitely the cornerstone of the young mind trying to build something upon it. My only thing over here is that these internship periods, the tenure is very short. So they are either 3 weeks or 4 weeks. And honestly speaking, I don't know how much they learn through these internships. What they learn is, of course, getting acclimatized to a law firm environment. That is for sure. And, like you see, you are finally aspiring to be a lawyer. So you get inspired by the lawyers who are leading that firm. And then you sort of try to become familiar with the legal jargons. You know that, okay, fine, I had studied, say, indemnity while I was studying Contract Act, and now I'm sort of assisting a senior in that law firm where she's drafting a contract, and I'm seeing that she's putting an indemnity clause in it. So I know the law, so I can, now this is how it is applied. So to this extent, it is very valuable. As far as from the law firm perspective. Now, as far as doing internship with a senior counsel is concerned, that of course is, or a senior or a chamber is concerned, that of course also has its own value if you're wanting to go into dispute resolution practice to begin with. But only thing is that because everybody knows that our judiciary is slow, there's nothing, hidden about it. So in the list, a certain matter comes and then it comes after a month later. So if you're following a matter, then it's no point really. So you work on a matter on a certain date, and that is adjourned to a month later when your internship is over. But then of course, when you're reading a file, you're familiarizing yourself with the petition, the application, there is a format, there is CPC, there's CRP, so many things are involved. So these are absolutely valuable. And the people who can spend more time in internship are the ones who are the lucky ones, because they get noticed. And especially during the end of their law school, in the fourth year, in the fourth year, I think they get PPOs after fourth year. So that's the time to really go to these law firms or the council chamber who you want to actually be with. And by that time, your course is also more or less, a lot of things academically, and you have done some internships. And if you say, for instance, want to join an X firm, which you are looking up to, it makes sense for you to join that firm as an intern. Put an effort, try to get an internship over there, and then show your capability so that you get a PPO, and then finally you get absorbed there. So these are certain things which I know students follow, and many of them are very successful.
Thank you, ma'am. Professor Chakrabarti, my next question is to you. Participants say that they are very much interested in learning IPR laws. And what are the future prospects in terms of IPR that are available to them? And is it actually necessary that somebody from a science background will be able to do far better in an IPR firm? These are some conceptual questions that students have put forward. Sir, you need to unmute yourself, please.
I will start from the last question, that whether science background would be beneficial. I will say yes. If you have a science background, your opportunities in the IPR farm would be better. And if you are not in the science background, but you have to learn some of the scientific knowledge, concepts, which will help you. That's why, for information of my audience, I can tell you that IIT Kharagpur, having the law school, they are out of their optional papers, they have almost 12 papers on IPR, various areas of IPR, details. That's why most of the IPR requirement, the IPR law firms taking the students from there, and our schools also, they are taking very few. But technological knowledge, scientific knowledge is required. But is it that only the science, their background they are going? It is not. Particularly patent drafting. Patent drafting requires some drafting techniques and sound knowledge, which my colleague Sucharita ma'am also mentioned, that contract law. If you have some good and fundamental knowledge, sound knowledge of contract, then you can develop into that patent contract drafting also. Not only patent contract, but also like technology transfer now, that also require your contract knowledge, technological knowledge also. Today, if you do not know science, but you have to, for example, if our law teacher who is teaching AI, artificial intelligence, he is not a science background, but he is learning from other science, from Jadavpur, one teacher, what are actually the facts. You have to learn yourself. If you wish to go to develop and you somehow got opportunities in IPR area, you have to develop yourself according to that demands of that area. And technology, not only in IPR firm, in any other firm also. Now there are many firms which are multinational, where technological things coming very fast, particularly nanotechnology also. The cases coming here also, the opinion asked by the partners or the business partners on nanotechnology area, AI area. So there, the technological knowledge you have to develop. Science, not you require to know all the science things, but your related area you have to develop. You have to change yourself. Changing is part of life and reality of life. You have to accept that.
Very true.
Yes, adapting yourself to the needs of the time is the need of the hour. And the sooner the students realize it and accept it and learn, I think that is the best way in which they can move forward. Moving to Madam Sucharita Basu, my next question is to you. And that is, with the current digital modernization that has happened, and with the pandemic with us for now, close to, maybe we will have to say close to 2 years now, you know, we have realized that there are certain challenges in the digital field also that a law firm faces. So what kind of specialties or what kind of areas which you would look at when you are recruiting or when you are going to recruit a new person in your law firm? So what are those niche areas on which students need to develop themselves, so that now with the theoretical knowledge and with the internships that they have, how can they make themselves more secure to address the digital challenges? What are you looking at from a student? What kind of attributes are you looking at?
Yeah. So, you know, these young children, they are very smart as far as technology is concerned. They are far more smarter than what we used to be. My 12-year-old son can really take me for a ride, let me tell you. So by the time he finishes college, so probably he'll be doing something great. So all of them are very smart. So as far as technology or technological adaptation is concerned, they do not need to really learn anything and come. But if you ask me what I look into a student to recruit a fresher, I will definitely go by, obviously I will be guided by her CV. I will look at a good CGPA. I will look at good internships. And then we obviously do an interview, which now we do over VC. And we do a general interview, do a technical interview, we see the general body language and sort of, her ideas on adapting to various kinds of situations, which are very important because right from college, she's going to come to a law firm environment, which has so many, different dynamics. So obviously we have to look into that. But as far as digital issue is concerned, I don't think it's a huge challenge for them at all. It is more of a challenge for us. But they are quite well equipped to handle the digital phase, let me tell you that. In fact, I learn a lot of things from them.
Professor Chakrabarti, another very good question. Law and psychology, can the two be pursued together as a dual degree?
I will suggest not only psychology. If from legal education perspective, I have to answer, I will say that student of law can develop his knowledge on forensic psychology as a lawyer. It will help him, and also social psychology to some extent. And along with forensic psychology, crime scene, that to be learned to be a good lawyer, how to develop a crime scene and also how to go to the mindset of the offenders. So forensic psychology can be a good area to develop. Along with, I think, some forensic evidence we have in our evidence law, but to be more specific, forensic evidence also, particularly admissibility of evidence. There are a lot of principles now, Supreme Court and also few high courts, they have through their judgments developed. So that area I will suggest in legal perspective. Though those who are psychology, their counseling system is there, clinical psychology, but from law perspective, he is a law graduate, and to develop psychology, better to develop forensic psychology and forensic evidence, this area where psychology and law to be mixed up.
Yes. So you basically are, saying the same thing as Madam Basu has rightly pointed out, that the basic traditional knowledge in the domain of law has to be first strengthened, and you can actually take it up as a specialized course and try to evolve out of it as a very niche area. Madam Basu, a very interesting question that has come up is it beneficial for a fresh law graduate to do judicial clerkship in the Supreme Court or the High Court before joining a law firm or a senior's chamber?
I think it is mandated, no, Dr. Chakrabarti, for them to do this.
Not mandatory,
Okay.
but they ask options from the top lawyer schools, and they give the advertisement in their websites. And they select, even when I was in Calcutta University, 1 or 2 students from National Law Universities also. So it will be helpful those who are going for practice. I think particularly I have some exchanges, those who are working with some judges, Supreme Court sitting judges, my student. If I ask what you learn during this 1 month, your clerkship with judges, they confess that it is a learning about what is legal profession and how to develop my legal expertise, and also to know that legal profession is a hardship also, and to work hard. How a judge from even Sundays, they are saying that we have no Sundays during my clerkship, no Sundays, no Saturdays, every day to work. And judge also, they are all above 60 almost. So they are also, there no holidays also. That so much work. they are doing. So that you have to, if you have to develop, you have to work hard, and that how to work hard, how to develop, that learn. It is not that all the legal principles they will learn 1 month, but how to develop your mindset towards a legal professional, that they will learn, I think, and that my share with my students.
That's true.
Brings us to another very important point which Professor Chakrabarti has actually knocked upon, and that is legal ethics and the role of legal ethics in the legal profession. Madam Basu, would like to hear your thoughts on this. Because with the different kinds of vices that we find growing day by day, I mean, law as a honored professional career that people choose to take up, or students choose to take up, they are always in a rush. They feel that they can rush to reach the top of their careers. But what should be the proper approach for a student when he is joining the profession as a
I can start.
Yes, sir.
What actually my experience, I had the opportunities to meet the various deans of various universities, because our institution and my previous institution member of International Association of Deans Law Schools. The three things normally are objectives of legal education. First is knowledge, second is skills, third is values. To have legal ethics, you have to teach your students the values through the law itself. I am sharing one example for make it more clear, that when you are teaching some laws, maybe criminal law, maybe labor law, you as a teacher and students also should not take that what law is, that is the correct one. What is the impact of law in our society? Is it that doing justice or discrimination? If it is creating discrimination, that to draw the attention of young minds so that they can develop some value in their mind, in morality. In labor laws also, there are changes of values in our labor laws, particularly 21st century, if we compare in the 80s, 90s. So how it is changing? Is it that our traditional moral values it is giving, or it is changing, whether it is changing for good? That things as a teacher to share with the students. So value system to be developed in the legal curriculum, legal teaching, that will help them to maintain the ethics. It is not just the professional ethics of the work council, they will commit in memory and they will follow.
Absolutely.
Through our teaching, we have to make them a value system, develop a value system.
Ma'am Basu, your comments.
No, so see, any profession, it has to be ethically followed, be it law or be it any other. There cannot be, there is no shortcut. So as you're saying, they are always in a rush, then, the people who are in a rush, they will actually not be able to complete the race and neither win it, therefore. So it's about, giving time and attention to whatever one is doing, be more focused. And of course, being ethical, there has to be a bottom line beyond which one cannot go and one should not go. There has to be principles in life to be followed. Money is not everything. And definitely money is not anything as it looks in the last 2 years. So it's more about being focused in one's career and sort of trying to become an expert, trying to hone our own leadership skills so that many more can follow us, because we are in a profession where people will look up to us, So that amount of dedication, that amount of discipline, that amount of, mentoring that we can do to the others is what we are going to leave behind. So, I have not forgotten anything that I have learned from my seniors, even the smallest thing, and I apply that to my my regular bread and butter that I earn today. So that is something which even I try to give back as a legacy to the people who work with me, to my colleagues.
Ma'am, my next question to you is, like, there are certain students who do not have very good articulation skills, but they have really good writing skills. So, can they have a good career? Can they have a good career only with the drafting and the writing skills? And what would be the suitable career options that they should opt for?
See, law is just not about articulating while speaking or writing. It's about understanding the law. So that person has to really have very sharp legal acumen. And how will that develop? That will develop by studying the law properly when you're supposed to study as a student, that's your job, and to apply it either during the internships or in your early years of learning. So each day you're learning. Even I am learning now. Even seeing people senior to me are learning. And many times we are learning from our junior colleagues, So yes, this is so the people who want to, we can speak better, they can perhaps, make appearances in court. They have good oratory skills that does create an impression. But being a good orator but not speaking the right thing will only, take them that long. So you have to know when to speak the right thing. So a person who's not such a good orator may be saying something which is right, legally correct, and giving more supporting citations and must have put much more hard work than a person who's just, trying to pass the test by using his articulation of speech. So in court matters, it does matter, but then these things are about training, they learn the court craft, they appear in courts, they attend senior counsel chambers. Even in law firms nowadays, it is more in-house, so that seniors teach them. As far as writing skill is concerned, this is definitely something which is an additional, if the person is actually very strong with language and especially writing, it is definitely a additional skill set, and but it is not something that they were born with. I'm sure they have worked on it, and the others can also cope up to it. I have seen many junior colleagues and lawyers who have really learned the ropes very well, and they write very well. So it's just about not writing very flowery ornamental English, but it is about writing the correct English and conveying the right legal proposition through it. So that's my take on it.
I will just add one thing, my experience, that it is not that when they are in the college, law schools, they are not very much vocal or their articulation is not good. But after joining, I have seen few of my students, they have developed that skill such a manner they are now practicing in Supreme Court. Those who are doubtful whether he will be successful as a lawyer in the court, they reach to even Supreme Court. So if they have their mind that I will develop, so they can develop also after few years. That is also, it is not some are shy in that class, but afterwards few experience they will develop also.
Yes, so it is the brushing up of the skills that is more necessary, and the more you brush up with both your writing as well as your speaking skills, the more you'll be able to evolve. Sir, my next question is to you. You have rightly pointed out at the very beginning when we were discussing the various career options that compliance officers in different corporates are also good lucrative careers that people look for. So in the curriculum, having subjects related to compliances, whether it's statutory compliances in terms of corporate compliances, do you think papers like this where the skills sets gets much more brushed upon would be good options for the students to have?
If we can have very good question, that if we in our curriculum we keep that corporate practice, corporate compliance, so when they will even go to internship, they will be confident to understand and to interact with them. And in this way also, to some extent connected also, I will suggest the students that during internship or opportunity, they are 5 years, from third year onwards, if possible to go law firm in a same firm again and again. So that will develop some type of confidence, and there may be some rapport to be developed, and if they can convince his capability, it is very easy that they will get their job in the particular law firm. Instead of, there are some students, they every year, and even we have two types, winter and summer. If they both 2 years 4 times do internship in a particular firm, there is good opportunities, they will get the opportunities in that same firm. So, and this type of courses, and I will suggest even wherever now online various courses besides the LLB courses, if they can join various online short courses, that will develop their knowledge and confidence also. In this digital legal education also, they can take opportunities of this.
Sir, the Bar Council of India allows the universities to offer dual integrated law courses, and we have, BLLB, BCom, LLB, BBLB, many such 5-year law courses that are run by various universities, including ours, that is Sister Nivedita University. Now, say suppose a student after studying law, means for these 5 years, along with the other dual degree that he is gaining, is there any alternative career that one can pursue after studying law?
Alternative career, yes. Civil services, I have already told that some of our students, for that they have to plan from the very beginning which subjects they will take in the civil service. There are syllabus, that is one. Another, I think, even law, they can go for management also. They can go MBA. That is also another way. And even from our graduates, they are going not for doing LLM in USA or UK, particularly USA. They are going for doing MBA in USA. We had the idea that law students will go foreign for doing LLM, but nowadays we are saying that they are going for MBA also. So things are changing, and if you have in mind love for learning something, you can develop easily, and that freedom is now, that flexibility in USA and other countries, and our new 2020 education policy also gradually giving these opportunities, and I think within few years in India also that opportunities will be available. They can shift any other direction.
My last question is to Madam Basu. Like, what are the key areas on which a student should work upon in a law school, so that, after the 5 years of completion of education at the law school, the student can consider himself that he is fit and agile enough to join the law profession? And do you think that a master, how relevant is a master's degree in law? And what kind of career prospects can the student have?
So to take your first question is on what are the points that she should strengthen herself, or let us say what are the subjects in which she should be very strong. One is of course the subjects which form the foundation, be it contract law, be it constitution, be it interpretation of statutes, jurisprudence, equity, Companies Act. If you look at it from the corporate law perspective, Companies Act, I think SEBI laws and foreign direct investment, RBI, that policy, that entire set becomes another subject. So these are certain things which they have to be really very good at, and they should be having, not only the provisions of the law, but also their application, judgments, everything absolutely well ingrained in them. It cannot be superficial. There should not be any confusion about certain positions which have been taken by several sections. Say if I take up any one small example, is a related party transaction under the Companies Act. So what it is, what is the section, what are the judgments, where it has been applied to, how is it applied? So, these concepts should be absolutely clear. Similarly, for interpretation of statutes, these things will matter in their interviews, when they go for their internships. How good are you at doing your researches? Because most of them are finally based on these few tenets of law. So these are the things which you should be really very attentively studying, and I'm sure a university like yourselves or NUJS, they must be having really good teachers teaching all this. So this is one part of it. The other thing, what was your second question about a master's?
Yes.
So right after LLB, if you do your master's, a lot of people do it right after the LLB. And also they either go abroad or they do their domestic master program. And there are people who join the profession and then they do it after couple of years, they take a short break and they do it. So education is always empowering, whenever you do it at whatever point of your life, it's always empowering. A lot of people go for foreign degree because then they get that foreign exposure also of academics, of style of teaching, which is quite different from the kind of teaching practices that we have in India. So I won't say that it has no value. It does open up opportunities. Just now, while I was speaking to, a ex-colleague of mine WhatsApp to me that she has completed her master's. So obviously she is feeling very good about it and she has chosen a subject which is very relevant. So I'm sure if she wants to further herself on it, she'll be standing in good stead, because whatever it is, whatever form of extra education or education is never extra to begin with. So that is empowering, that will enrich you. So it's not a bad idea, but these people, like you said, they are in a hurry to enter the profession and they want to sort of, just to start off. So because they've already spent 5 years and these 5 years are quite rigorous 5 years. So it's really a matter of personal choice. I did not do a LLM, and because I didn't want to study beyond a certain point of time, I wanted to be more practice oriented. So it's really a personal choice.
Just one addition that in UPSC, there is a provision, if you have LLM, you will get relaxation of 2 years of experience. So sometimes, as I'm saying, education, but there is always, there are some advantages either by knowledge itself or by others.
Yeah,
it is
and a lot of these government I've seen, because we do a lot of government infrastructure.
Bank law manager required master degree. In bank law manager required master degree.
Yeah,
sometimes it advantages.
Sometimes it does help. Sometimes it doesn't. But sometimes I'm sure
in many cases, actually, they are also requiring it as a desirable qualification where they give an edge to a certain extent. Yes. It has been a fascinating session, and so many questions are not only coming to the mind, but from the students also we find so many questions coming up. But every good thing also has to come to an end. Thank you very much, Professor Chakrabarti and Madam Sucharita Basu. We have, Professor Chakrabarti I have known for a long time, but Madam Basu, this has been the first interaction, and I'm sure that our association is going to continue. And let me share one good news with you. Just like NUJS, we also have developed a curriculum where we have included, subjects on compliances and statutory compliances and legal compliances in our syllabus. And we are trying to train our students by, along with the theoretical knowledge, we are also trying to improve upon their skill set. So we have separate term papers which we have identified for them, where that would be a term paper where they will only be taught on the nuances of drafting legal contracts or maybe drafting petitions. So specific focus on the, engaging them in developing their skill sets are being undertaken, along with the 5-year and the 3-year programs of undergraduate law that we are offering along with the master's program. And it was really wonderful to have this session with both of you, where students must have definitely learned a lot on how they should prepare themselves for their future bright careers. Thanks once again, and hope you have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.
Just to, just my parting comment is that they have chosen a very empowered profession. And in today's world, I think probably anything can go wrong with any other profession, but not with law. We are living in a legalistic society. It's going to become even more legalistic. So congratulations on your choice, firstly. So whoever asks me, you know, my older senior friends with children who are passing out, what should I wear? What should you do? I said, please don't think of anything else. Let her study law. So you will always be empowered. You will always find a way out, you know, to do well in life.
And that will actually empower you both in your personal life as well as in your professional life. And that is now turning out to be a very major requirement.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Professor Chakrabarti, and thank you, Madam
Thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Chakrabarti. Very nice.
Thank you. Hope to meet you again. Thank you again.